Hey, Doughboy, I think we should get started.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, we're waiting for Sebastien, by the way. I think he's running a bit late, but I think we should go ahead.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. MaGESpire and BlueArk present the Metaverse, keeping it real. I'm Bowie, one of your hosts today, along with Doughboy from BlueArk. And it's my privilege to arrange this session with BlueArk to make it very educational. So to give some background, the metaverse market by component, including hardware, software, or by platform like desktop, mobile, or by offerings like such as virtual platform, asset marketplaces, and others. By technology, including blockchain, VR, and AR, and the mixed reality, the global metaverse market size reaches USD 47.69 billion just last in 2020. So, and is expected to register a revenue compound annual growth rate of 43.3% during the forecast period. So, rising focus on the converging digital and physical worlds using the internet, increasing traction and the popularity of the mixed reality and the COVID-19 outbreak and the pandemic and subsequent developments and outcome of the situation are one the others factor expected to continue to drive global metaverse market revenue growth. So, and the COVID-19 pandemic was a quite a driving factor and interest in the metaverse concept. Individuals began working remotely and students shift to the attending classes virtually and demanded the need for convenient approaches or channels for making online interaction more realistic emerge. So the COVID-19 pandemic has speed up the emergence of the virtual communities, as well as the major lifestyle areas for lockdown users, including interactive gaming landscapes, as well as the increasing adoption of mixed reality. The latest advancement in digital social experiences will set the context for the next stage of post-COVID digital activity, the advent of metaverse, which is being used effectively as the real-time virtual world to open up and leverage major potential for brand engagement. So today, the agenda is quite simple. We have a very short presentation presented by Doughboy from BlueArk, and we will jump to a panel discussion. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first panelist, Doughboy, and also will give us a few minutes presentation on what BlueArk does.
Okay, hey, thanks a lot, Bowie, for the introduction. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. So basically we started BlueArk, I think like a year ago, and because I'm a musician, and then I've been looking at more ways to integrate like creativity into this world. Like, because music is just what it is. So it's a song, 3 minutes, it has a chorus, it has a verse, but that's it basically, like what else can you do with music, right? So we're trying to look into like the digital world, the virtual world. And then we started BlueArk with like my partner Peter. And then we started off with the marketplace. And the marketplace is sort of like a gallery, but then online. It's an NFT gallery. But then we don't want to be like everyone can put stuff in. It's not like we want to curate like a lot of different I would say every month or something, we want to create like a specific theme for it, and then people actually because if it's a lot of stuff going on, sometimes I feel like it's like a mass market. But then if we want to really curate art in a way, we have to have like a solid campaign with like each of the with each of the themes and the artwork. So we started BlueArk, and let me see, how do I get to the wait, where's the slides? Where the slides at? Oh, there you go. And so basically, so we have our platform BlueArk, and then we've been putting out artwork. But at first, I would say I don't want to start a platform and then say, hey, artists, just
Can
put
you
your stuff
enlarge
in.
the screen, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when we started, I don't want to be like, hey man, all these artists that I know, put your stuff into BlueArk and then we can sell your stuff. I know it's not possible because we don't generate sales, it's a new platform with a new token. Who's gonna believe in this? Like I know it's legit. I know we're doing something, but like who's gonna believe in it, right? So I was like, let's do our own little project, which is the Gummy Villain. And Gummy Villain is like our it's kind of like our mascot, I would say. And then we started pushing to like our Telegram pages, started pushing to like the different areas, and then I started generating sales. And I was like, okay, cool. At least now I have an example that BlueArk actually could sell stuff. And then we were reaching out to like different artists, but not just digital artists. We were reaching out to like movies, to like brands and stuff, and then we're trying to do more with them. And luckily, with our mascot Gummy Villain, we were able to have a collab with Sandbox, and I was really happy that Sebastien and Harvey reached out to me at the time, and they were like, "Hey, I see what you guys are doing. You guys are doing pretty okay." I was like, "Yeah, but we're actually pretty new. It was like half a year ago." They're like, "Yeah, but but you guys are doing okay. You want to join the Metaverse and Sandbox?" I was like, "Yes. That's what I've been looking at. Because." All we had was like the platform and our token, and we were trying to do like our physical store. Which yeah, and I'm actually in the store right now. I could show you guys a little bit. We're in the store, and this is our collab, our Gummy Villain collab with Sandbox that we sold. And yeah, so with the physical store, we would want to give like a different experience, because a lot of times when you're looking at NFTs or like digital art, it's all just on the phone. It's just like this. But I feel like in terms of art, it's a lot about the experience. And like if it's this small just in the phone, like I don't know how much it's gonna affect you, but like if you actually come to the store and you feel like the concept and you feel the artwork like interacting with you, that's a different thing. So that's why we were like, I think we should do like a physical store. A lot of people were against it because they were like, hey, this is virtual art. We're talking virtual. Why are you doing physical stores? But we were like, like we have to integrate the virtual world and the real world. And that's why we had this concept. So yeah, basically that's what BlueArk is. We're still pretty new. We're actually looking into a lot of different stuff in terms of like gaming and like AI that we're slowly trying to develop. But right now we're focused more on the arts, on like working with different brands, with different artists, with the online store or with the physical store. And yeah, so let me just play the so I think I covered all this in the music and the arts and
Yeah, we
stuff.
were told you have a video, right? Can you show us the video, please?
Yes, let me see. Let's go to the Sandbox trailer. Go.
And launch the screen, please.
Dope.
That's really, really cool, though, boy.
Thank you. Let me stop the screen share.
Sure.
All right.
Well, yeah, so I guess that's pretty much the end of your presentation. Thank you for introducing BlueArk. And we also have two more great panelists joining this panel discussion beside Doughboy. So we have Karena, the co-founder from WHub and Angelhub, as well as Sebastien Borget, co-founder and COO of the Sandbox. So Karena, would you like to quickly introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Thank you so much, Bowie. Thank you, Doughboy, for the great start for this panel. Pretty
Yes, no, but
impressive.
please stop the share screen so we can see Karena.
Let me see. How do we stop the share screen? Oh, there you
It's
go.
okay. Well, while you figure it out, I'll just keep
Okay,
on talking. So again, huge pleasure to be again on another great panel with you, Bowie. I'm founder of WHub and Angelhub. As you mentioned, they both work very synergetic. So Angelhub is taking care of making a difference in the fundraising ecosystem. So we are an investment platform for tech companies scaling here in Asia. We do deal ticket sizes anything from Series A to even later stage. We focus on a few growth sectors, including Web 3.0, fintech, and ESG empowered tech. So far, we actually only live for 2 years, but we made 16 investments, exited 2, with an average of 12 multiplier within these 2 years. Have in our portfolio, several companies that marked up. None of them marked down so far, and have deployed $40 million US. What kind of I think bought me a ticket into this panel was the fact that we invested into Animoca brands, into the Sandbox, the MetaKey, BNV, so a couple of companies in that space. And then WHub is really more the ecosystem accelerator and power connector, putting the tech companies at the heart of everything we do and helping them to get access to talent, resources, visibility. We're behind SIS, the largest tech conference here, and part of the Start Me Up Hong Kong Festival. And WHub Innovation caters to another group of stakeholders, the corporates, on helping them to transform digitally, as well as help, obviously, again, the tech companies to get opportunities for POC or to collaborate with these bigger, larger, or more traditional companies. So again, I'll just stop here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Karena. Hey, Sebastien, bonjour.
Bonjour everyone, how are you?
Well, thank you. I mean, I know you
Très bien.
well, but I think for the newbies who are new to this event, we could please introduce yourself.
Absolutely, and it was a great starter to see Doughboy in person and the video that's been done for BlueArk Gallery, where he's at now. So I'm Sebastien Borget. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Sandbox, as well as the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance. Sandbox, it's a virtual world where creators can make like their own assets and experience and monetize them through the use of NFTs and blockchain technology. We brought more than 200 brands into our open metaverse and have grown ourselves through virtual real estate and really providing tools for creators to make all sorts of experiences more social, more rich, more immersive. Yes.
Thank you, Sebastien. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself also, but I think some of the attendees know me well. But just to quickly introduce myself, I'm Bowie, based out of Hong Kong. I wear a few hats. One of them is called MaGEHold, which is an angel investment group in Hong Kong and Singapore, as I do direct investment to different startups. I'm also a partner of a VC fund called True Global Ventures, which is a late-stage blockchain heavy focused fund, over 100 million. And Sandbox, as well as their parents company, Animoca brand, are also our portfolio companies, which is why we are very close with the Sandbox and very excited and proud of the latest development. And I also run MaGESpire, which is a tech venture development and education group, and I do a lot of educational events, and this is the one working with BlueArk. So let's jump to the question. So our topic is Metaverse, keeping it real. So my question goes to Karena. I like the 101 fundamental question. What is your interpretation of Metaverse, and why such a hot topic now?
Right, great, thank you. What is my interpretation? Again, I obviously Googled what others had to say, and apparently, the first time the term metaverse was coined was in 1992 already, right? In that science fiction novel Snow Crash. So, what is the virtual world? Arguably, Doughboy started, already explaining, some major aspects of it. So, first of all, it's a virtual world. Of course, it's a digital world, right? A world somewhere there on the internet. But I think you really put the focus also on what really counts our experiences, and it's really based on social connections, right? So it's definitely an immersive reality in 3D, and I think we probably all have been influenced by Hollywood movies and things that we have seen in the past. Be it the Matrix, who obviously just came out with another release, or Ready Player One. So I think that's basically what it really describes, and I think one of the reasons why we're talking now, so again, 20 years later, again, about what the metaverse and why is it so hot, I think it's once again a bit of a perfect storm and a collision of several factors. So once of it, of course, we needed advances in technology, right? And if we can see how far AR and VR are bringing us, I don't know if anybody is a gamer here on this call, and and just, you know, expose themselves. If you think about Matrix the game and Matrix the movie, I think a lot of people were wondering in which trailer they were when they started looking at it, right? Because so our virtual realities become really, really real. The other one, obviously, when it comes to advances in technology, and we're gonna probably talk way more about that, you know, throughout the panel, is the advantage in blockchain, and obviously what we all by now know as NFTs, as non-fungible tokens, and the fact that now we're able to really transpose the concept of property right and non-fungible items in a digital world. So that's one thing, which is really interesting, which is the second aspect of the perfect storm. It really includes several industries, right? So it does not only include the gaming industry and all the broader ecosystem, which is, you know, access points like hardware, you know, consoles and all of that. It even started further, you know, arguably off beforehand with all these social networks and avatar platforms. And now, again, Dobo is the best example, really involves entertainment, art, music, and as all these examples of blockchain-enabled games show, you know, with GameFi really blurring the borders to other sectors like fintech and others. So that's really, really interesting. The other aspect is consumer behavior, right? So given obviously to COVID, we are all much more familiar and trusting much more in technology, right? Particularly in the gaming sector. And I think Sebastien can talk more about that. Now, you know, every day is a Sunday, so people are on their computers 24/7, and really the consumptions obviously of technology and the trust in technology has significantly increased. I talked about blockchain and NFTs really allowing a totally new concept of transposing existing business models of the real world into the virtual world. And then even also from a consumer point of view, you know, concerns of user data privacy, awareness of that your time, your creativity, your personal data is something that you should own and you should monetize them, not somebody else on your behalf, which obviously opens up then, you know, all the discussions around Web 3.0 and the open metaverse. And just in ending, I mean, obviously the media does their part to it. And if you see news such as Christie's auctioning an NFT for, you know, over 65, so, you know, put all the buyer's premium and everything, I think probably Tubadur and Metaverse about like 69 million US dollars, which made him, I think, the second or third living highest artist, you know, sold ever. The fact that, you know, in Axis Infinity proved that now people can play to earn a living. So it goes way beyond just pure fun and consumption. And the fact that people like Mark Zuckerberg get really, really interested in what the metaverse is. I think all these are part of that perfect storm that contribute to why it's so hyped now.
Absolutely. So when Mark made the statement at October, so we see a big jump in all the metaverse related projects. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. And I would just argue one of the things I want to again shout out to Sebastien and to Doughboy and all these people who are in the scene for much longer, who really truly believed, you know, in the power of a blockchain enabled, you know, metaverse and an open metaverse. I think it's great that, you know, these guys have a bit of a head start and hopefully keep it open. So again, not just to come back to names we just named.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Oh, Doughboy. So what's the personal experiences with the metaverse? Can you share a little bit with us?
I mean, in terms of personal experience, definitely video games. You know, I grew up in the 90s. And we all started off with like GTA, Second Life, or like playing Sims. And like, when I was young, it was just fun. When I got older, I was like, what is this? Why do I like this? And it's actually just doing things efficiently, doing things that we couldn't do in the physical world, for example. And like, you know, just there's a lot of boundaries in the real world. You know, a lot of things that you couldn't do. So I was like, hey, if we can exist in the virtual world, like what could you do? How can I be a part of it? And then all of a sudden one day I got in the call with Sebastien and Harvey, and I was like, hey, yeah, like I'll definitely, you know, be a part of Sandbox, you know. And like for us to get into the metaverse through Sandbox at first, we were just thinking about, especially for me, like it's not like from a business point of view, you know, it's still like very sentimental to me, I would say. And like I just want to build like a utopia, you know, with selfishly, I would say, like with things that I like art, I like music, and I like wrestling. I like watching wrestling. So that's why we have these three elements in our land, in the Sandbox. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Sebastien.
Oh, thank you. Sebastien, when talk about the sandbox, right? People generally think of a virtual land and people can come in as landowners. Isn't that simple? What kind of games are out there, and what is the mission of your company in the metaverse?
Well, we believe like the open metaverse should be this more than gaming. It should be like a whole entertainment platform where users, through an avatar, will be able to access across multiple experiences that can be more social, that can be more immersive, and will encompass all sorts of content, whether they are virtual shows, art gallery, art museum, fashion shops, fashion houses, or games, or social hub, dance club, virtual concert, and so many things. Little bit like what life is like. At every corner of the street, you find a new experience, find a new shop, a new place, and you can play, work, but do so many more things as well in the middle. And we want to do that while empowering the creators and empowering the players to truly own their identity, to truly own their digital asset and their currency, so that all the value that's being generated by creator, or all the value that also come from like being present and making this place more alive with avatar, actually goes first and foremost toward the user that contribute to being part or create this world. What kind of content we're seeing? Like, well, a lot of different experiences already, in a sense. Like, we believe like the metaverse is going to be massively user generated content. Probably 90 to 99% of it will come from users. That's why we started by providing the creation tool accessible without that doesn't require any knowledge of programming to start creating. But we also want to bridge with the physical world and bring more culture, more lifestyle into it. And we did that by bringing more than 200 brand artists into the metaverse, some of them including Warner Music Group, Adidas, The Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, Deadmau, etc. And also many more, which I can keep listing. But with this idea that those brands, artists, they are global. So they bring like culture from Hong Kong. We have Doughboy with us today. We have brands like Pororo from Korea, South China Morning Post in Hong Kong, coming together with more Western brands, which makes it even faster to access like global culture from the physical world, mixing it with blockchain and Web3 and crypto culture with NFT collections such as the Bowie, Gotogat Gang, CryptoPunks, and many more likes. And I think it's really an interesting mix that's happening, and that's making it like a fun place where people want to be, want to spend time, and they are being rewarded for their engagement with the platform.
Thank you, Sebastien. I watched the Snoop Dogg the trailer on YouTube. The songs and the whole metaverse concert is amazing, and I love it. Look forward to participate. Here's a question for all of you. So, what do you think are the most important elements for a successful fusion of the real world and also the virtual metaverse? Starting with Doughboy.
Yeah, hey, so I would say we've actually been living virtually for over a decade, through social media. Our presentation of ourselves through social media, like on our Instagrams or Facebook or whatever, is not exactly who you are in real life, because online I could post a lot of food photos, a lot of food videos. But am I actually eating that much food in real life? Not sure, but we always want to present like something that we want to present to the people online. And I would say it's like everyone's curating their own lives basically. But like what it is and like why do we do that as humans is that we just want validation. We just want to be part of something. We want to feel welcome. We just want interaction. Everyone just want to interact with one another and have that actual self-validation and having people like you and stuff like that. But in order for like a metaverse to actually work with the real world, I would say really is just to give them like a real experience, in terms of everything, in terms of like what you could do with the metaverse, in terms of how you can integrate, like especially for us, like being in this gallery, it's also like a mix between virtual art and physical arts. And I feel like as long as it makes people feel like they're part of something, that is physical to me, and having self-confidence, curating your lives, whatever, like stuff like that. It's a very sentimental thing, I would say. It's a lot of a feeling, and like once you have that feeling, and then you're in the world, and it's,
yeah. So getting people interact is the key. Thank you. How about Sebastien?
Well, my take on this is like we've seen, and Karena was really good at pointing that out. Like we've seen virtual world and gaming for like a long time ago, and again, like we feel like we're submerged in this digital space. So what is it we're looking for into the metaverse? And I think the first thing is like looking for different kind of experience, more immersive, not necessarily seeing the users of their avatar as like client or consumers which are trying to buy more content, but more of the opposite actually. Like if we make the choice to spend time close to a certain brand or certain creator, it's to be rewarded through them, to be more close to them, to their value, to have the opportunity to exchange live with them in chat or other activities, and feel like it's really more of like a fun with creator kind of relationship where we are contributing, we are part of their community all together, and that community is actually defined through through the NFTs we own into our wallet, and that's definitely a new paradigm that we're looking at, where content and activity are also being created live as like so you have those closer relationship happening. I feel like also it's something that translated very well back to your previous question around the notion of virtual lands and virtual neighborhoods into virtual lands. So one of the great success of Sandbox has definitely been its map of 166, 164 lands, which we sold about 70% to date, and we plan to sell whole by the end of this year. And what we've seen is like most likely when a brand like Snoop Dogg came in, everyone wants to be their virtual neighbor, which means like they are just one walk away with their avatar from their land close by, and that enables a lot of things besides becoming the neighbor of Doughboy or Snoop Dogg. It enables also to create collectively experiences that are like connected really from one to another, and create like neighborhood of interest that could mix like art, music, fashion, gaming, etc. It's a place where actually you want to be with an avatar, because again, to this idea, like at every corner where you walk, there's something cool and different and fun and engaging, and you might meet great people there. So that's kind of the way I'm seeing it.
Thank you. What do you think about it, Karena?
Yes, so again, several aspects. Obviously, the metaverse, you have to bring the consumer with you, right? It's about the same thing as building a shopping mall, right? Afterwards, you need to make sure that you can have the greatest brands inside. You have to make sure that the consumer understands, why he or she should be there. And again, I think it really also depends when you think about why the consumer would come. Again, is it more like the consumption element, the entertainment, fun, gaming, or is it already, again, more like an investment or a speculative aspect, why the consumer would come with you to own land and potentially hope that similar as what we are used to here in Hong Kong will appreciate a lot. You can sell that land off for so much more money later on. So I think what really needs to happen as well is that educational aspect, right? And again, we're talking about this for a long, long time, and I think Sebastien also must be really seeing it very happily to now in everybody's mouth what NFTs are and what you can do, but arguably all the way a few years back, 2001, was it 15, 16, when CryptoKitties started, breeding kitties on a blockchain, was all about education, right? It was about helping that technology to go mainstream. And I think one of the theories also from, Animoca brands and others involved was to say that gaming and entertainment probably will help on that educational piece, because you don't have to explain to gamers the value of assets in a digital format, and which leads to trust. I mean, right now, again, we can thank the media for some type of news of people getting stolen or aggressed and harassed in the metaverse. So I think it's important that we continuously, talk about that trust element of what the metaverse is, and then you need to make sure that the consumers can really come, that the doors are open, right? So the accessibility, and again, thinking about more AR, VR related metaverse immersion experience. It's about having the right hardware in place. If we talk about in blockchain enabled metaverses, it's about making sure that people know how to set up their MetaMask account, or if you want to start owning NFTs, how you set up a wallet. I mean, all of that is really important. Bringing the consumer, reaching the consumer. Again, it comes to basic business one-on-one fundamentals on distribution. How do you get the word out? I mean, does it mean that Discord and Twitch and other things need to go mainstream? I mean, all of these are elements I think that are really, really important. That entire ecosystem of players now in the space are, trying to figure out. And I think we're going to talk about that later as well. It's about once you have, different immersive worlds out there to make sure that they can also, be connected, the interoperability of different metaverses. Because at the end of the day, as we said from the beginning, it is a social experience. So the social aspects definitely need to be there.
Thank you, Karena. Sebastien, the Sandbox has recently made the announcement of the partnership with the Warner Music to create a fan-owned and a community-driven entertainment world. Except music, we can see so many players from different industries such as media, gaming, or even marketing joining the game or the metaverse. What kind of metaverse do you imagine that the Sandbox to be in the near future? And who else do you see will be the main participants?
I definitely thank the media for covering all the success of Sandbox and every new partner entering Sandbox. And I think it's really helped to broaden the perspective of who can enter it. And I can already name so many diverse kind of businesses or creator. Just recently, PwC Hong Kong announced acquiring land and entering the Sandbox, for example. Or we're seeing Adrian Cheng from NWD or Sang Hong Kai. And then next to him, we have Stefan Funk as a movie actor and his wife. We have Wales that's collected a lot of NFTs and turning into a gallery like Time Capital. Just even at a very regional, taking a look at the very regional basis, like Hong Kong, there's already a great diversity into both music, entertainment, business, real estate, and more. And we're seeing that as well expanding globally towards many other regions. And the main takeaway is there should be no barrier on who can enter the metaverse and what they can do with the tool and how they can use this space and NFT to actually engage with their community and empower their users and the creators as well. We feel there's been for over a decade now kind of a relation between creators and fans, or brands and fans, that's really been that came to attrition and been really overused. And that relation, whether it's in gaming or whether it's just into consumer brands, is essentially come down to how many million of followers do I get, but really how do I really engage with them? It's very limited. Or how do I monetize game? And the fact that I need to monetize games by usually serving ads or selling in-app purchase, that actually I serve ads, I acquire users by actually targeting users through advertisement. So it's been again a relationship more advertisement, which is a lesser great user experience, plus collecting data on those users to actually target them with advertisement in order to convince them to make a purchase. So it's again not a great user experience, and I think users are getting more and more aware about those data collection issue, they are being the product being monetized, and they want to take back control of their identity as well, choose where they want to spend their time and how they can be really seen as their digital identity and who can access the data they hold, rather than the opposite, just be in a way enslaved to some platform that will define what they can see and even make and influence some of the news they see, the content they see, etc.
Thank you, Sebastien. I think that's the one question that raised by Paul. Thanks, Paul, for raising the question. I think it's relevant to the topic that you were just talking about. Is there a future in the metaverse where we'll not be restricted by land? What do you think, Sebastien?
I think that I'm not sure like I understand really the restriction of land. I think like there's a lot of space through 166, 164 land, specifically knowing that one land is 1 hectare, 100 meter by 100 meter, it takes you a minute and a half to 2 minutes to cross with an avatar. So it could take a lifetime to explore with your avatar all that space. And in a way, like the digital scarcity of the map also ensure that rather than having like an infinite supply and content treadmill, like you have a greater concentration of successful, fun, engaging experiences. And if they are not, they will be actually replaced. So somehow like almost reproducing the model of some metropolis, even Hong Kong or Manhattan, where like the city, the center of the world is like the place everyone want to be, the more active, the more lively, etc. The risk is, of course, like there's already too many land, and like even 166, 464 land is too much. It will need still about, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 creators to make experiences, and we'll find space that are empty, where there's no avatar, where there's not a lot of fun and activities, and that will not really make you want to come back there.
Sure, thank you. Karena, speaking from an investor's perspective, how can people really equip themselves to get involved in this space?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do have to make a shameless plug. You just sign up on Angelhub, so we're very happy to onboard you on the space and investing in the space. But joke aside, I mean, again, it depends on why you would come and join that. So again, is it more for the fun, the consumption aspect, the entertainment aspect of things, or financial return, or both? So once again, obviously, on Angelhub, you have both, because you can get the financial returns and you can make their own decisions in terms of on which deals and which companies you want to invest on. And we do not only focus on the metaverse and Web 3.0. But I think, again, it also comes a little bit, and that's where, once again, thanks to when we talk about blockchain-enabled games and the property rights that you can now mimic in the digital world, it starts becoming really comparable even to art, right? And I think actually that's probably also why digital art and what NFT allow digital art to do really resonates a lot with people, because you have a consumption element to it and you have an investment element to it, right? So I think you already would need to understand, do you want to invest into companies, right? And again, for a financial return, or because you believe in the passion and the purpose, and you believe in that crusade of developing an open Web 3.0? Or again, is it because you want to invest more into digital assets, and you want to invest into digital assets because you want to own them, because you like looking at them, you like looking at the hidden codes that only you get access to, or it's because you want to sell them off later? So again, there are a lot of different elements. I think if the question is really about, how do potential investors into companies, and I would need to actually put a little bit of a parenthesis, because now also, again, the lines are a little bit blurring, because before you would like either invest into a company or you invest into digital assets. And I know a lot of companies in that space actually raise money now through selling their digital assets or tokens, right? So it's not that clear cut, but not to make it too complicated. So again, coming back, if you want to invest into the companies, again, I think it's really important that you start immersing yourself into the industry. What is it actually? Become a consumer first yourself, because if you need to, again, access if some of these companies will be successful, yes or no, you need to understand if they're solving problems in a very elegant way that will help them appreciate in their value. So I think these are a couple of thoughts that I would throw out there. Again, look at it. What do you want? Really pure financial return, and then is it investing into companies or digital assets, or do you want to combine? And so there are really different ways on going about things.
Absolutely, and I think do your own research is one of the key elements before you do anything else. Thank you for sharing, Karina. Don't worry. Speaking about BlueArk, you're also focusing on music and art. And just to give an example, you guys created the NFT of a famous Hong Kong legend and singer, Anita Mui, when she had the interview with the Hong Kong media, the City Entertainment. Can you share a little bit more how you created these digital assets?
Okay, so like back to what I was saying like earlier, like my entire theme about this whole thing is really about interaction and like nostalgia. It's a lot about the human experience, right? So like for example, when I put up my first NFT on Binance, it was like because Binance had like the first 100 creators, and then they invited me to do like an NFT, and then I put out like a sound pack of like 300 sounds, and then anyone who buys the NFTs, they could use the sounds and create their own music with the sounds, because like everyone was trying to do like songs or whatever for music NFTs, and I was like, if it's just a song, you can hear the song on Spotify. Why would you want to buy an NFT? Like, how do you interact with it? So I wanted to put out sounds that you could use, and it's kind of like Sandbox, having utilities where you could build your own avatars, your own land. So like it was really from that concept, but like in a musical kind of way. And then yeah, and then back to BlueArk in terms of Anita Mui, who passed away in the mid 2000s. In an ideal world, right? She's still alive and she's still doing music, but unfortunately, like she's not around. And like in the virtual world, luckily we can still have her, and that's why we have unseen footages from her interview in '91 with City Magazine. And yeah, and because we're in the virtual world, we can all still have this collective memory of a legendary singer like her, who is not here in the physical world anymore. And I really want to look at like this crypto world, not just from like a financial perspective, but I want to look at it from like a sentimental standpoint. The luxury of being human, luxury of having like a human interaction and having collective memories. Because I would say making a purchase a lot of times is irrational. It's not like it's not like we did a lot of research and that's why we're buying this. Sometimes it's really because it really touched you in some way. That's why you want to buy into something, and that's what we're trying to do with BlueArk. And it kind of reflected with our token. Like our token's been doing okay, like we're not like, at least I'm making money, and I'm like like this actually works, because a lot of people were like, hey, you guys are not really like, you guys are focused on like arts and stuff. Are you sure this is gonna sell? And I'm like, hey, but our token finally, is working. So people actually do believe in, sentimental, human experience. So yeah, so that's what I want to say.
Thank you, Doughboy. So my next question goes to Sebastien. How do we redefine equity and the property rights in the digital space?
Well, I think it's very much similar to like the real world real estate, in the sense like the blockchain as a technology can ensure like certain wallet address is the owner of a virtual space, and that virtual space can actually be as many of the similar utilities as in the real world. You can actually rent it to other creators to publish on their content onto it, or you can publish yourself an experience and start turning that experience into potentially either your own house or a business that can make a revenue. Business could be a game, could be a concert, etc., which you could sell like NFT tickets, ways that to restrict and get access to, for example, or make accessible to everyone, but create engagement loops such as through play to earn, as we likely touched as well before. I think like the topic becomes really interesting now, like a certain virtual land value is pretty significant in terms of like they could be reaching the 6 to 7 figures. I've heard of 8 figures now into some very strategic location into Sandbox and other virtual worlds, which mean that, well, those are certainly digital assets of value and could be perceived and should probably be perceived into the traditional finance system as well as like real property, and real property that maybe you can mortgage to take a loan or to actually use into for other like purpose. one thing we're seeing more and more, besides like virtual real estate marketplaces or brokers, etc., is like Metaverse investment fund and digital asset group, which are now becoming specialized into acquiring virtual lands across one or multiple virtual worlds, and are, which main activity, just like fiduciaries, are essentially like to use those space, find the right tenant, develop the right business, and provide a certain ROI over the exploitation of the space within virtual worlds, which is, I think, really interesting because it means like the virtual world, even if you're not a player, not an artist, not a creator, not an investor, as a landholder, you can also enter in it and actually make it your job as well. That means like the metaverse is once again really accessible to anyone, and it lands the NFT avatars, the game assets are just bricks towards a larger infrastructure that can be developed and built on top of it. And that's why we decided to launch the Metaverse Accelerator project in partnership with Brink a few weeks ago. And applications are now ending by February 27. The idea is we'll be investing $50 million into up to 100 companies with check size around 100,000 to 250,000 to actually support the next generation of entrepreneurs who want to use some of those key assets from the metaverse to launch their own business, their own ideas that would expand even more the ecosystem and the utility of those assets.
Yeah, this is a very meaningful project. Thank you for sharing. I think even for some of the projects that Sandbox will be considered granting lands to those projects beside the investment, right? So this is very exciting. Thank you for sharing. Karena, we talk about all these beautiful, I guess, development in the NFT space, but the market's still vulnerable. And with the overvaluation and also speculation, how do you see the risk when investing in the space, and how can we mitigate the risk?
Yeah, so again, it depends on exactly what are you referring to, because again, a lot when we talk about speculations, I think you really refer to, for example, digital lands, NFTs, or even cryptocurrencies or other digital assets. So again, arguably, I mean, what we do on the Angelhub platform, we invest into companies, right? And let me actually get from that, but I think what I'm going to say is kind of like something that you can transpose also to the fact of evaluating if you want to invest into any other type of digital assets. I also saw that there were a lot of questions about regulations, etc., and I think it's actually a different panel in itself, and it's a more than evening filling conversation. And happy to take some more questions later on. I'll try to reply simultaneously in the chat. But coming back to your question in terms of when you invest into different digital assets or into companies, right? You obviously have to look and understand the underlying economics, right? The underlying business model. So again, that obviously also depends then with what is the solution really providing in terms of consumer value, right? Or value creation. I think blockchain, AR, VR, again, these are just tools to develop better solutions, meaning faster or cheaper or more powerful in terms of experience. But it's not because a company uses blockchain as a technology or NFTs that it's definitely companies going to appreciate in value, right? So you need to understand if underneath, the underlying business model, the assumptions on value creation throughout the value chain, the go-to-market strategy, the capacity of the team, all of that, of course. I think, again, when you come more and more in asking, you want to invest into, again, digital assets, should I buy land? Should I buy NFTs? Should I get involved in actually creating my own digital assets and sell them off? I think then we actually compare much more into things that were known in very traditional businesses, like art or wine or any other consumption items, where you know, at the end of the day, I think that the best advice that, you know, art experts would give you is you do it because you already love the consumption aspect to it. And then if it appreciates in value, even better. So again, I think there are a couple of elements that we look into when we invest into companies. And I named them already. And yeah, I mean, the due diligence is something that takes a lot of time. So that's why, you know, being a venture capitalist or being an investment platform is a full-time job. So the only watch out again is it depends what you want to do, and there's nothing right or wrong in general. If you're somebody who actually loves the speculative aspect, if you love, you know, trading in a way just to, you know, get these marginal incremental gains, again, there are platforms, tools, and ways to do that. It's totally legit as well, legitimate as well. But it really comes always back to the underlying fundamentals, right? The technology is just a tool. So on top of assessing how powerful the tool is, how sustainable it is, how great the solution is, you know, look at the underlying economics.
Thank you for sharing. We are running out a little bit of time, and I hope that we can have stretch it for 5 more minutes. And Sebastien, you can stay for like 5 more minutes, right? Yeah, so
Sure.
yeah, because you were late, so you need to give me back the 5 minutes. So my next question goes to Doughboy. Let's talk about the MaGECity. You know, BlueArk is one of the 8 organizations that participate in MaGECity 1 on Sandbox Metaverse. What are you trying to build in Sandbox Metaverse?
Oh, so really, I wanted to do like a virtual version of this physical gallery that we have here in Sandbox, because, you know, like, this is in Hong Kong, not everyone's in Hong Kong, but if you want to visit our gallery, you could go into Sandbox and you can visit, you know. And then in terms of like the gaming aspect of it, like, we haven't really got into designing a lot of it, but I really want to do like a wrestling game, because I like watching wrestling as entertainment, you know, and it's fun to watch, you know, and it's fun to play as well. So I want to have like a wrestling game there for sure. We've been working with like Index Games and Sandbox, and then we're working on it. And then in terms of like the other part of it, the last part of it is really like a virtual concert. Not just for me, you know. I want to have like interesting artists, you know, a lot of artists that I know, visual artists or like musical artists that are interested in performing for audiences that have never seen them perform physically before. So we definitely want to be like the first Asian, one of the first. I don't want to be like, yeah, we're the first. One of the first Asian virtual concert platforms that and I've been bringing very interesting artists, and that'll be really fun.
I look forward to that. Thank you. So let's talk about the future. I think the future is something that we all care about. So Sebastien, I just to have a disclaimer, this is not a financial advice, but how can people really invest in the future or the future in the metaverse?
There's different ways to, I think, invest. Like, you can invest with your money without being actually involved in it. And just like when you believe into a certain technology sector, you might be buying stocks. Like for Tesla, if you believe into electric cars, so you might want to acquire a portfolio in your portfolio, cryptocurrency portfolio, if you have one, or start one if you don't, and have a little or larger exposure towards some of the metaverse, play to earn token, and eventually even virtual lands. You can do that on your own, or you can do that now by joining certain digital asset group or metaverse investment funds such as MPI or Republic Real. You can also decide that, well, the future is that future, you want to be more involved and even turn it into your next job, your next activity. Doughboy was mentioning Index Game, which is like builder studio, metaverse builder studio out of Hong Kong. They started 6 months ago. They were just 2 people. I believe now they are a company with more than 20 employees, building and working with like great local partners like South China Morning Post or Doughboy on quite a great diverse range of experience, etc. So it's one way. More than builder, you can also be involved as player, as community manager, as virtual real estate brokers, metaverse agencies that help other brands to come into the space. You can really get to pick who and who you want to be and what you want to do into the metaverse.
Thank you, Sebastien. Karena, what are your expectations for the future of the metaverse, and how will its evolution affect you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love it that Sebastien actually gave a little bit of a broader idea also on what the sandbox is, right? It's an amazing metaverse and land, but it's so much more, right? Again, the whole obviously it is a currency as well, right? I mean, with the sand token. So again, for all those, and it's not an investment advice, but who like that aspect of the metaverse. But as you said, it's that part of being a creator, right? On enabling actually gamers to develop their own games, on helping really players to contribute and then also to monetize their time, their creativity that they spend in that digital world. And I think what we're really excited about it when we say that we focus on investing into company in Web 3.0 in a larger sense is again the shift that the technology, blockchain and NFTs allows when it comes to allowing consumers to be part and monetizing that value creation, and also how really the power game within industry completely shifts. I think so. We typically, are not a company that invests particularly into gaming. I think what gaming again showed us, it helps probably the educational and mass adoption piece to it. We're looking now into, how does that affect, once you own digital assets, you may want to trade them, you want to sell them. Again, you want to do things with it. You may want to now be part of several metaverses, right? So we invested into MetaKey, a company that looks into the interoperability of different metaverses. As I said, it actually also requires traditional business to rethink how they interact with their consumers. We invest into BNB, which is brand new vision, and I think Sebastien also mentioned is giving brands, right, a presence in the metaverse. Also, we invested into education companies. So I think for us, it really just opens up a whole new opportunity of business models, and again, of just bringing so much more elegant and powerful solutions to the end consumer that we're really, really excited on, again, the underlying really shifts that all of this will create. So it's definitely a fascinating space. And back to you, my one advice is to people, just get exposed, right? And there's no right or wrong, right? And again, I mean, just set up a wallet, just set up several wallets, right? And just start playing around and start playing around with several games, start looking into the space. So yeah.
Thank you, Karena. What is your view on it, though, boy?
Honestly, my vision of what the metaverse is in the future, I really hope to see the world come together as one. No nationality whatsoever. Because if you think about it, like with the internet boom, the world kind of got closer together. Like everyone receives information a lot faster. After the internet came about. So now with Web 3.0, I would say it's a faster way to get new resources. It's a faster way to like be part of a big community where you can learn and then share resources and just interact like efficiently. I think that's all I want to see with the metaverse, with Web 3.0.
Thank you, Doughboy. That's pretty much the end of our panel discussion. But I have one last question to all the panelists before we go today. Can you share one giveaway, one thing that you would like to share with our audience? Starting with Sebastien.
I would say it's really an exciting time overall. 2022 is going to keep seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of newcomers entering the space from various industry vertical. I think if you haven't read it, try to check the Morgan Stanley report that project the metaverse economy to be over $4 trillion within the next 10 years, and ask yourself if you were given a new chance to start into and be part of the next wave of a new technology innovation, and one that actually benefits more toward the user and the community. Is it the right time to enter and start being part of that next wave? And that's my recommendation today.
Thank you, Sebastien. And Karena?
Yeah, I think writing on that, I think I would really encourage everyone also to go a little bit under the underlying philosophy of a decentralized economy, right? And again, thinking about what it actually means to own your data, to own your time, to own your creativity. And I think that's a really exciting piece to it. I do have to make another shameless plug because some people said next time we should stream it out of the metaverse. And so if anybody is interested, please reach out to me. Our next big conference, SIS, will partially take place in the metaverse. So if you're interested in an experience as such, please ping me for sure.
Thank you. And oh boy.
So yeah, lastly, I think you guys were talking like a lot about it. Really, for everyone who's trying to invest, really do your research, because I know this is like a hype. Everyone's like, yo, NFT hype, metaverse hype. Let's buy into it. But hey, like, let's really just do the research, sort it out, and then like learn and do exactly what you're trying to do. So yeah, but also, check out BlueArk, check out like our marketplace, check out our land and Sandbox, and check out our physical gallery if you're in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you, Doughboy. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Sebastien, Karena, and Doughboy, for amazing panel discussion. I think the key is my giveaway to the audience is to get yourself educated in the space. Go join all different kind of Twitter group, Discord group, Telegram group. At the crypto community is super friendly, super supportive. And we are so willing to share, compared to the traditional financial world, where it's really brutal and mean, but we are very generous, we are very supportive, and we are very open to share our knowledge and information. So get yourself educated. As Karena mentioned, open up different kind of wallet, try it out, but start with small, start with something that you're okay to lose. And also, more importantly, get yourself educated of the cybersecurity. Know how to protect your digital asset is one of the key, because we heard so many different stories of hacking, losing the wallet, private key, or the seed phrase got stolen by someone, or you share with somebody by mistake. So get yourself educated is one of the key that I would like to share with everyone. And that's all for the English panel. And we are going to change our panel from English to Cantonese. So thank you, Sebastien, Karena, and don't worry, you can stay since you can speak Cantonese anyway.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Bowie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
好
啦，咁多位，我哋而家轉我哋嘅 channel 做廣東話啦。咁首先多謝晒咁多位嚟參加我哋今日個educational talk 啦，係MaGESpire 同埋 BlueArk 一齊合辦嘅 Metaverse Keeping It Real。咁我哋或者我會將個麥交俾我哋嘅panelist Esme。係啦，咁 Esme 或者我交個場俾你，同埋都幫你應該有一版可以 show 出嚟。去介紹我哋嘅 panelist 嘅喎。
係啊，等我啊 ，sorry， 我叫阿 Peter 過嚟同我換個位。
係啦，咁 Meanwhile Esme 或者你介紹我你介紹我自己先。
OK 好，大家好，咁首先歡迎大家各位觀眾去參加今日關於元宇宙嘅廣東話環節啦。今日嘅主題咧就係我哋點樣去將現實嘅世界整合喺虛擬嘅元宇宙中，而跟住今日好似 Bowie 咁講，咁就係 MaGESpire 同埋 BlueArk聯合舉辦嘅，跟住我就係主持 Esme， 咁我就係喺一間券商嗰度係最主要就係做虛擬貨幣嘅研究。咁我哋今日咧都好榮幸邀請到各位行業領先嘅專家啦。咁相信大家同我一樣咧都非常期待呢3位嘉賓嘅分享。咁佢哋分別咧就係 Chow Animoca Brands 數字策略同埋合作總監 Peter Lin BlueArk 聯合創辦人同埋行政總裁 Harvey Tsoi The Sandbox 大中華區董事總經理。咁我就一開始咧就好似英文環節一樣，咁我哋就先交俾 BlueArk 嘅行政總裁 Peter 去介紹啲佢哋嘅項目。Peter 有請。
Peter 要 unmute 自己啦。Peter 我哋聽唔到你講嘢嘅。
OK， 而家 OK 啦。
Hello，
大家好，我係 Peter， 咁啊，我係 BlueArk 嘅 co-founder 同埋 BlueArk 嘅 CEO 啦。咁啊，好高興今日喺度有個機會可以喺度同大家分享一下咁我哋嘅項目啦。咁啊，首先講下我哋 BlueArk 先。咁啊，我哋 BlueArk 其實係一個Metaverse 個項目啦。咁其實 我哋主要嘅業務其實包括一啲多媒體啦、影像啦、音樂啦、藝術啦、創作啦同埋遊戲方面嘅方向嘅。咁我哋係會利用一啲AI 啦、blockchain 啦，同埋我哋會有啲 NFT 嘅技術啦，希望可以幫到一啲全世界嘅藝術創作即係創作人啊，我哋俾到一個平台佢哋。可以令到佢哋更加即係容易啊，或者係可以令到佢哋嘅作品啊，賦予更多嘅價值落去。
你有個 PowerPoint 可以去另一版嘅嗬。
OK。
係啊。係啦，你講咗呢度啦，咁
係啦，
繼續。
咁講翻即係其實點解即係我哋即係我同阿 Bowie 其實兩位都係喺一個叫做 creative industry 裏面做嘢啦。咁點解我哋無端端會做咗呢個咁樣嘅項目咧？其實可以講翻喺2016年嘅時候啦。其實我同Bowie2016年嘅時候認識嘅。咁我哋即係我當時嘅時候，其實我好 appreciate 阿 Bowie 一啲即係佢音樂嘅一啲風格啦，同埋佢即係非常之 creative 喺 creativity 方面嘅嘢。咁我就後來一路同佢有好多聯繫，即係 stay in touch 好多關於啲 creative 方面嘅嘢。咁後來去到2020年嘅時候，其實有一個 documentary 非常之對於我嚟講係非常之影響好深遠。係當時就係因為呢個 documentary 令到我開始會去睇好多一啲關於virtual 即係虛擬世界方面嘅嘢啦。咁呢一個documentary 其實係叫 Meeting You， 唔知大家有冇聽過啦？係一個韓國嘅團隊就幫一個韓國嘅媽媽就去將佢過咗身嘅女啦，就喺一個虛擬實境世界嗰度再重新呈現出嚟咁樣。咁其實非常之感人嘅嗰個 documentary。其實喺2018年咁，我同我太太都有一個即係有個女就係啲罕見病咁離開咗。咁當時其實我同我太太睇完呢一個 documentary 嘅時候，其實都開始會留意好多究竟其實呢一個未來嘅develop 即係未來嘅世界究竟會發展成點咧？而家我哋成日都見到有好多有 VR 有 AR 有 XR 有好多 MR 咁樣嘅嘢。其實將來個世界係會發展到就係我哋已經可以將一個虛擬嘅世界同現實嘅世界去merge 埋一齊咧。咁我會開始留意呢個方向。咁NFT 呢樣嘢其實我已經即係留意咗好耐咁樣。其實係當時喺香港 NFT 爆發嘅時候，其實我喺早前我哋都有留意呢樣嘢。咁再加埋呢一樣嘢，開始會諗會唔會我哋可以向呢個方向行去做一啲嘢。咁我當時我同埋Bowie咁開始去傾開呢一樣嘢。咁見到原來聽到大家嗰個對呢一樣嘢睇到個 future 都係一樣，因為我哋大家都係一個creative industry 裏面啦，見到有好多一啲問題啊，甚至係一啲將來啊可能性啊，我哋都希望可以透過一個項目去 develop 落去。咁我哋咧後來就開始成立咗呢個BlueArk 嘅項目啦。咁我哋就首先我哋早前我哋喺大概半年前，其實我哋有一個 NFT 嘅交易平台，我哋就落咗地啦。咁後來我哋亦都同一個叫電影雙週刊，香港本地一個電影週刊咧，就合作推出咗一啲梅艷芳嘅未曝光過嘅一啲照片啦。咁後來我哋亦都有同呢啲好多唔同嘅香港本地嘅一啲 IP， 譬如我哋嚟緊會同呢個叫做網劇反黑，唔知有冇大家有冇聽過啦？係由陳小春飾演啦，同埋有陳國坤飾演嘅一套網劇。我哋嚟緊都會同佢哋推出好多唔同嘅NFT。咁後來我哋亦都會開始去諗到，其實究竟 NFT 呢一樣嘢點樣可以帶動到落去？即係由一個虛擬嘅世界帶動到落去一個叫做同實體嘅世界去 merge 到，真係可以有連接咧。因為其實對於我哋嚟講係Metaverse 呢樣嘢，唔係淨係話一個虛擬嘅嘢嚟嘅，其實係要同一個實體世界係有一個聯繫嘅。咁後來我哋就有個想法，就係希望可以做到有一個 concept store。呢個 concept store 其實係希望可以 educate 到個市場，話到俾人哋聽。咩嘢叫做Metaverse？咩嘢叫做 NFT？同 埋可以俾更加多嘅人接觸到譬如 blockchain 呢一樣嘢。咁我哋就希望透過呢一個 concept store 去展現出嚟，甚至講緊 concept store 呢個地方係唔好淨係話我 educate market 啦，甚至係講緊可以俾更多市場，即係話業界啦，譬如好多唔同嘅品牌或者係唔同嘅集團，有個機會大家可以入個地方去互動一下，大家去睇下點樣利用一啲大家嘅資源，去將我哋嘅一啲概念啊、想法啊，去變成一件大事。因為喺我哋
不如咧呢啲咧，其實會喺我哋個 panel 嗰度咧，我哋會大家一齊討論嘅。嗰時或者你可唔可以用30秒講埋即係你哋尤其是係關於 BlueArk 嘅嘢，跟住我哋就可以move on 去問答環節嗰方面。
哦，OK， 明白。咁我可以再講多後面少少，就係話，譬如我哋呢一個 BlueArk 嘅項目裏面，我哋好着重一樣嘢，就係我哋點樣將 NFT 呢一樣嘢產生價值二次嘅價值。譬如講緊 NFT 呢一樣嘢喺個市場上面，即係喺我嘅角度裏面嚟講 ，NFT 可能係一樣冇價值嘅嘢，但係價值係需要人去賦予落去。我哋係會透過可能用 AI 嘅 technology， 我哋去將一啲NFTs 去變數據化佢，再產生翻一個新嘅 NFT， 再喺我哋一個 Metaverse 嘅叫做生態裏面，再產生無限嘅價值。其實係產生一個生態，點樣喺我哋嗰個叫做元宇宙嘅生態裏面，再不斷去互動去用。咁我哋自己本身去睇呢一樣嘢，一路慢慢 develop 嘅時候，咁啊當時阿杜哥其實有一個 opportunities 啦，就同咗 Sandbox 呢邊咧就傾到一個雙方嘅合作。咁我哋 BlueArk 其實就而家喺同 Sandbox 有一個合作啦，就去呢個 MaGECity 嘅地方啦，呢個地裏面咧，我哋就做咗一個virtual 嘅一個 night club。即係其實我哋係希望可以利用到呢笪地，去俾到佢都波有好多朋友啊，我哋亦都有好多朋友啊。咁我哋會用呢個 concept 叫 Bowie and Friends 嘅 concept， 去俾好多啲唔同嘅 artist 啊，或者唔同嘅 parties 就喺呢邊有活動啊。我哋可以做好多exhibitions 啦，甚至係講緊有搞 events 啊，咁都好中意打摔角啊咁樣。咁我哋都會有啲摔角台入邊啲人一齊去玩啊咁樣。咁喺呢個 concept 一路 elaborate 落去之後，其實我哋而家嚟緊就會係即係會亦都同好多唔同嘅品牌啦，希望喺 Sandbox 笪地裏面咧，我哋會搞好多唔同嘅 events。咁所以我哋可以睇一睇呢個 trailer， 即係我哋 Sandbox 合作呢個 MaGESpire 嘅地嘅 trailer。
好，咁多謝晒 Peter 咁精彩嘅分享，同埋呢一個 trailer。咁或者我都交俾 Seth 同埋 Harvey 簡單介紹下你哋嘅背景，或者有請 Seth 先。
唔使停止我，你記住放翻你嘅 PowerPoint。
麻煩啊，多波mute 你自己，同埋你可以 stop 個 share screen。
OK， 處理緊。OK。
Seth 到你啦 ，Seth。
sorry， 我未 unmute。係大家好，我係 Seth， 我係 Animoca Brands 嘅 digital digital partnership 啦，同埋 strategic partnership 嘅 director。我唔識點樣 translate 佢中文。like 我喺度負責嘅會係一啲 guild 嘅投資啦，同埋一啲由我哋 play to earn 打機可以賺錢。我唔 sure 啲 term。I try to 我 always 嘗試用中文嘅terms，或者有啲 term 我轉唔到。啲 play to earn 嘅遊戲啦，同埋一啲 guild 嘅投資同埋合作，我哋都有睇啦。咁同埋我另一方面咧，就睇緊點樣可以將 NFT 同埋呢個元宇宙可以更加普及化嘅。咁所以我哋都會 target 一啲譬如K-pop 啦，一啲音樂類嘅比較大眾容易接受嘅 NFT，即係可能唔係淨係講緊一個好難去接觸到嘅 Metaverse 一個元宇宙嘅 concept，而係一啲更加平時大家都會接觸到嘅娛樂，可能係電影，可能係音樂嘅一啲嘅合作咁樣咯。Nice to meet you all。
好，唔該晒 Seb， 咁亦都到 Harvey， 請你簡單介紹下自己。
Hello， 大家好。今日好開心喺度同大家見面啦。咁多謝大會邀請。咁就我係Harvey The Sandbox 大中華區嘅總監。咁就The Sandbox 咧係一個去中心化嘅元宇宙。咁就用戶玩家都可以喺呢個平台上面係一個虛擬嘅平台去創造佢哋自己嘅 NFT 用佢哋嘅 avatar 化身。去喺 Sandbox 入邊去擁有、去創作、去monetize 獲利啦，喺呢個 play to earn 或者呢個邊玩邊賺啦，我哋叫做嘅一個模式入面，喺 Sandbox 入面去做各種嘅創作玩參與嘅一個平台啦。咁我哋已經係推出咗我哋第一個 Alpha season 就喺12月，咁嚟緊我哋會有Alpha 2就將會公佈。咁就會接住咧就會推出。咁好多謝大家今日嚟參與呢個交流。
係，咁多謝晒大家嘅分享啦。咁而家咧就係呢個討論環節正式開始啦。咁首先 Seb， 咁你代表 Animoca 去建設同埋開放呢個元宇宙。咁請你分享下你哋對元宇宙未來嘅睇法，同埋 Animoca Brands 你哋即係近來融資嘅新聞都比較多啦。咁你哋未來會有啲咩發展項目啊
？OK， 咁可能我做少少簡單嘅background introduction 啦。我唔知大家對 Animoca Brands 有幾了解啦。咁其實我哋就投資咗好多唔同嘅公司啦。咁 Sandbox 係其中一個啦。咁我哋其實仲有好多唔同嘅元宇宙喺Animoca Brands 嘅 portfolio 入邊嘅。咁可能睇後面我哋都有唔同嘅遊戲或者唔同嘅平台，我哋都有去投資。咁我哋喺2017-18年左右就已經喺呢個 ecosystem 入邊開始做一啲建設㗎啦。咁例如係早期譬如OpenSea 啦，大家買 NFT 都一定會去過嘅 OpenSea 或者一啲頭先講話 Play to Earn 嘅遊戲，例如係 Axie Infinity， 咁呢啲都係我哋係非常之早嘅投資者嚟嘅。咁我哋其實個理念係會想將所有呢個 Web3 上面嘅即係成個 ecosystem 啦，我哋都可以一齊去做到一個 growth 咯。咁就唔係話我哋要去將我哋嘅 product 去 fit 落去某一啲嘅 partner 度嘅，而係我哋想將我哋而家講緊頭先講嘅音樂又好啦，或者一啲 Web2 嘅嘢，我哋點樣可以將佢帶去 Web3 入邊？咁 Metaverse 呢個 term 大家可能睇得好多，Facebook 又有講，大家對 Sandbox 又好好了解啦，即係可能都聽過賣地或者所有嘅新聞。咁 Sandbox 呢期都非常之紅。咁 Harvey 一陣可以再講多少少。咁我唔集中去講呢一方面。咁我哋講下 Animoca Brands 我哋對呢個元宇宙嘅睇法係點樣？咁我哋其實係覺得元宇宙有一個開放嘅空間，可以俾唔同嘅創作人啦，或者唔同嘅公司啦，佢哋想喺呢個 Web3 上面有一個嘅 presence， 咁佢哋都可以去進行創作嘅。咁我哋 Animoca Brands 其實頭先講話我哋係成個 ecosystem 咁去 build，咁所以我哋起咗出嚟嘅嘢其實都會開放俾大家去做唔同嘅建設嘅。咁例如係譬如我哋 founder 一燒好中意用一個 example， 咁喺第一架商用汽車出現嘅時候，其實個汽車廠係冇去諗過之後會唔會有其他嘅 side business， 例如係換胎又係一個 business 啦，或者係室內即係個車入邊嘅 interior 嘅 換過晒啲凳啊，換過啲被啊，又係可以一個 business。咁同埋之後更加再講遠啲，可能Uber 有咁嘅 business 去出現咧，其實所有嘅頭先我講以上有3-4個例子咧，都係 based on 個 true ownership of 嗰架車，即係有商用汽車出現，大家買咗架車之後咧，其實你係唔需要 go back to 個車廠去問，我可唔可以改裝架車啊？我可唔可以換個車嘅胎啊？我可唔可以攞架車去租俾？可唔可以做 Uber 去接載乘客啊？咁樣你唔需要去 go back to 個車廠去問呢一啲嘢嘅。咁其實成個元宇宙都係 based on 呢個概念，就係你 own 咗嗰啲 asset 之後，無論係地又好啦，或者 NFT 都好啦，咁其實你係唔需要去問翻我哋做唔做得呢樣做唔做得嗰樣嘅，反而係一個 open space 去俾大家去做你嘅創作，或者你想 bring 自己嘅 brand in， 或者你想 bring 自己嘅 business 點樣去轉型去 Web3，呢個係你哋嘅 creativity 咯。咁所以喺將來嘅話，我諗應該會見到更加多嘅 Web2 嘅element 會或者公司啊 brand 又好啊，都會去 move on to 呢個 Web3 嘅 engagement。咁我諗只不過係一個format 嘅改變嘅啫，即係個 engagement 可能同而家我哋見到嘅有啲唔同，即係譬如我係一個 brand 去 engage 我嘅 audience， 我唔再用一啲 traditional method， 我唔用 Web2 嘅方法啦，我唔用呢個 IG、Facebook， 可能我係用 NFT， 我用呢個 more close 嘅 engagement with 我嘅 audience 咁咯。
Right, that's interesting。咁講起關於模式方面，咁下題問題我就想請教 Harvey。咁 Harvey 關於 The Sandbox 咧，咁好多人一諗起嘅咧就會搞下虛擬地產啊，或者買虛擬土地，令到玩家咧佢哋個個都可以做地主。咁以你嘅理解咧，其實個概念係咪咁簡單？同一個遊戲其實係有啲咩唔同？你可唔可以同大家觀眾分享下？
好啊。多謝呢個問題。咁其實喺 Sandbox 上面一共有166464塊土地啦。咁佢哋全部都係 unique 嘅，咁都係一個 NFT 嚟嘅，一個ERC721嘅一個格式啦。咁大家都可以用呢個方法去擁有因為而家 blockchain 嘅 technology 啦，咁可以擁有呢啲土地。係一個真正嘅一個數碼嘅一個 ownership 啦。咁其實 Sandbox 嚟講咧，就唔係一個遊戲咁簡單。咁佢係一個平台。咁呢個平台上面咧，係用戶可以係UGC 嘅方法啦 ，user generated content， 大部分嘅 content 將來都會係甚至90%或者九成半嘅一啲 content 都係由用戶去製作嘅。咁我哋有好多唔同嘅一啲 tools 啦，最主要係2個 box edit 係用嚟做呢個 NFT assets 嘅一個呢個3D 嘅 modeling 同埋 animation 嘅 tools 啦，同埋另外一個 game maker 係唔需要任何即係programming 嘅一個knowledge 都可以去製作一啲遊戲啊。係去 create 自己一個空間啊，咁就會喺呢個土地上面，即係 land token 上面去搭建佢哋自己嘅遊戲啊 experience 啊，演唱會又好，或者係一啲 fashion show 又好，或者一啲 gallery 啊，例如好似 Bowie 佢會喺佢自己嘅土地上面去製作各種唔同嘅一啲games experience 喺上面。咁呢啲亦都係就係用戶可以用呢啲land 去做嘅嘢啦。咁 land 係可以用嚟 publish 呢啲遊戲，甚至乎可以之後可以用嚟去租俾人啦。咁亦都會可以用嚟 host 一啲唔同嘅 event 啊、content 啊。呢個係一個有一個digital 嘅 scarcity 喺度，一個 limited 嘅一個供應嘅。咁喺 Sandbox 上面，大家可以喺嗰個我哋嘅網頁去見到。咁我都順便提下啦。咁我哋嘅 website 係呢個 sandbox.game。咁因為其實而家都市面上，因為都比較多有一啲phishing 嘅 website 啦。咁我都希望睇下大家，尤其是啱啱參與嘅一啲用戶，咁喺 Google 上面可能 search 未見過嘅話，即係如果新加入嘅一啲用戶嘅話，會 search Sandbox 咁樣，咁可能會有一啲phishing 嘅 website， 咁就好危險。咁我都喺度希望可以提下大家。
咁都多謝 Harvey 嘅提示，咁大家要小心啲啦。咁另外咧就係啱啱 Harvey 提到嘅一點咧，就係關於唔同嘅 token 同埋唔同嘅資產，所以都了解到其實 Sandbox 咧係提供咗2款嘅。咁第一就係 land 啦，第二就係 estate。咁可唔可以講解佢哋有啲咩分別，同埋邊一款係比較受歡迎㗎？
好啊。 land 咧其實係我哋Sandbox 嘅一個最細嘅一個單位喺 Sandbox 嘅呢個 Metaverse 入面。咁每一塊土地咧都係96米乘96米闊啦，同埋一個128米嘅呢個開發嘅空間啦。咁呢個係一個最細嘅單位。咁 estate 咧其實係一個由3×3或者以上，有3×3啦、6×6啦、12×12，甚至24×24嘅一個 estate 嘅一個土地群組成嘅。咁用戶咧或者一啲公司啊，佢哋就可以將佢哋自己嘅 logo 擺喺 estate 上面。咁 estate 通常而家我哋係一個 default 嘅一個 setting， 咁大家可以擁有咗呢個 estate 之後咧，就可以喺上面去擺佢嘅 logo 啊，之後會繼而可以做一啲唔同嘅建設啊。咁land 嘅話咧，就會可以係有分兩種嘅，其實係有regular land，咁就係比較喺一啲比較離大嘅 partners 啲 estate 比較遠少少嘅一啲 land 啦。咁 premium lands 咧係我哋喺我哋 land sale 入面會有一啲 bundle with 一啲NFT 喺上面嘅。咁 premium lands 通常就會係離一啲大嘅 partners，譬如Warner Brothers 啊，或者係 Snoop Dogg 啊、SCMP 啊、Doughboy 啊，我哋香港嘅 partner。咁就會係比較近啲一啲大嘅 partner 咧，相對嚟講咧，啲用戶咧就會去一啲大嘅 partner 嘅時候，大嘅 partners 嘅嗰啲 experience 之後咧，咁佢行出嚟咧就可以行到比較近一啲即係一啲單頭啊，叫做嘅 premium lands 嗰度。咁嗰啲 land 相對嚟講咧，就係喺市場上面比較價值比較高啲嘅，因為佢哋嘅人流方面啦，會比較容易去 draw 到去到呢啲 lands 啦。咁regular lands 咧就相對嚟講就都唔係話佢冇一個好高嘅價值，只不過佢哋可能偏遠少少。咁我哋成日都會係同即係我哋嘅社區都會有一個共識，就係話其實一啲regular lands 咧，其實都係視乎佢哋嘅 content 喺入面。咁佢哋 content 其實就係一個主要去 draw 到一啲人 attention， 可以入嚟玩啊，或者係唔同嘅互動啊、遊戲啊，或者佢哋嘅入面嘅內容係比較重要嘅。咁estate 嚟講咧，其實而家我哋暫時咧就係 default 嘅一啲 setting 啦。咁第二日咧，亦都可以用一啲單嘅地，即係譬如可能你擁有9塊地係連埋一齊嘅話咧，咁你可以 group 佢成為 estate 嘅。咁呢個 function 係我哋之後會推出。咁主要係呢兩個分別。
好好，咁Peter，咁啱啱我哋就睇咗你好精彩嘅 trailer 啦，咁我都想問深一層，就係BlueArk 其實同埋 Doughboy 咧都算係一個 household name，所以元宇宙以我哋嘅理解咧，就係連接一個人嘅想像力同埋去到一個虛擬嘅世界啦。咁你可唔可以同我哋分享下你所希望建設到元宇宙係會點樣？
其實呢個所謂嘅元宇宙，其實我哋係一個所謂呢個平衡。其實虛擬同現實係需要一個平衡。譬如講緊而家現實世界有好多我哋做創作嘅，有好多 imaginations 同埋有好多 creativities， 但係究竟可唔可以真係喺現實世界裏面發生咧？咁但係其實透過 technology 呢樣嘢嘅時候，你可以創造到一個空間，你可以將你諗到嘅嘢 through technology， 但係你可以 develop 到出嚟嘅時候，你亦都可能講一樣嘢就係我哋而家成日講緊好多嗰啲虛擬偶像啊，又或者一啲過去咗嘅嘢，或者即係歷史已經離開咗嘅 idols， 會唔會其實有機會可以喺元宇宙裏面再發生、再出現翻，有機會同呢個世界嘅人去互動咧？其實有好多唔同嘅嘢都係可以喺元宇宙裏面發生。其實呢一樣嘢係可以做到好多唔同想像力去 benefit 到，譬如教育啊，譬如係旅遊啊，好多咁嘅嘢係透過呢個空間去展現出嚟，俾人去做到好多 interactions。咁創作人方面，其實我哋做創作嘅好多時都真係有好多 limitations 喺即係現實世界裏面，真係好多 limitations。但係有冇機會可以用到透過 AI 呢一樣嘢去幫到一啲其實佢好有想像力，但係其實當佢有想像力嘅時候，但佢冇技術嘅時候，點樣可以俾到佢哋發揮呢樣嘢咧？其實係希望可以有 Metaverse 呢一樣嘢，而透過 AI 俾到佢哋 發展呢樣嘢啦。
即係其實最主要元宇就係一個，我理解就係一個 enabler 嘅角色啦。咁 at the same time，我就想了解翻你哋之前同 Sandbox 喺1月份咧就有公布過一個 announcement 嘅，所以你可唔可以分享你嘅理念係點樣，同埋令我哋觀眾更加深入去了解呢一個模式？
我哋希望其實喺 Sandbox 呢個地方咧，我哋都有諗過，頭先講過，我哋希望做好多 virtual concert 方面嘅嘢啦。其實而家喺譬如我講喺疫情方面啦，疫情方面有好多人咁，我哋根本走唔到出去，大家去聚埋一齊去做好多互動。但係如果有呢個空間嘅時候，其實有好多我哋就可以喺個地方度一齊去 mingle，有好多互動，甚至係講緊有好多呢啲喺現實生活我哋做唔到嘅一啲活動，我哋亦都可以喺呢個場景度發生，甚至係講緊而家喺呢個市場上面。我哋講一個 commercial 嘅市場，有好多公司一路都可能搞唔到任何 event，咁而家其實佢哋轉移咗邊度做咧？其實轉移咗去一個虛擬世界裏面做。咁其實我哋呢個場景，我哋呢個Sandbox 合作呢個場景，我哋就係希望可以建構到一個俾大家機會有互動，甚至咁樣原來可以係 benefit 到幫啲 business 做到引流添嘅，即係我哋希望可以建構到咁嘅地方。
另外，可唔可以再講下關於你哋之前同 City Entertainment Magazine 嘅合作？
你講呢個電影雙週刊
係冇錯。
OK。其實電影雙週刊呢一個合作係我哋當時正就係講緊元宇宙嘅可能性。咁我哋當時其實諗過就係會唔會我哋可以將張國榮嘅 NFT 推出，即係將來我哋有機會將電影雙週刊張國榮嘅一啲未出街嘅照片，然之後變成我哋係可以再帶翻入，即係將張國榮帶翻入宇宙。咁後來傾下嘅時候，其實我哋就見到梅艷芳傳呢一套電影，其實佢就出咗嚟啦。咁梅艷芳傳呢套電影其實佢帶咗一個我哋香港一個咁出名嘅 idol 嘅背景嘅故事出嚟嘅時候，其實好多 NFT 好多人會去睇究竟呢個價值喺邊度嚟咧？個價值其實就係買嗰個人去付呢個價值俾佢，佢覺得佢呢樣嘢值幾多錢就係嗰個價值。正其實梅艷芳傳呢套電影其實就介紹咗梅艷芳本身嘅 history 啊、background 啊、佢嘅故事啊，令到成件事好多人都會 appreciate 呢一個 idol， 亦都會令到好多人會欣賞呢張 NFT 背後嘅10年梅艷芳出道10年呢個故事，就係10載光環10載光環方。咁當時我哋同電影雙週刊推出呢一個 NFT 嘅時候，其實我哋之後都收到好多唔同嘅 feedback， 好多人就會開始 find out 一個好 detail， email 我哋啊，揾我哋問一啲好 detail 嘅 stories 啊。後來嗰班就變咗我哋嘅買家，即呢個其實係呢個未來我哋都希望可以將一啲過去咗嘅嘢帶翻去呢個，就透過 NFT 呢個方法。
呢個都係一個 NFT 好重要一個 legacy 嘅 component。咁去到 Seth 同 Harvey 啦，咁啱 Seth 就提到關於 play to earn 呢一個模式啦。咁其實你可唔可以介紹下啲玩家點樣可以用啲咩方式可以遊戲嗰度獲得實惠益？尤其是譬如during COVID-19 嗰陣咧，咁就好多唔同國家嘅人佢哋出唔到去做嘢，咁變咗佢哋就喺屋企嗰度玩遊戲機嘢賺一啲生活費啦。咁你可唔可以講下啲blockchain games 佢點樣實現呢一個模式啊
？OK，咁頭先我 mention 咗有個遊戲叫做 Axie Infinity 啦，咁喺上年年中嘅時候就非常之紅嘅，咁直情有個 documentary 拍咗出嚟係關於 Axie Infinity 點樣去幫助到一啲喺 Southeast Asia 嘅國家嘅人啦，例如喺菲律賓啦，咁喺啲偏遠啲嘅地方，佢哋可能因為 COVID 冇晒旅遊啊，冇晒其他嘅 job opportunity， 咁打機係即係喺屋企度打機係佢哋唯一一個可以賺到錢嘅方法啦。咁個遊戲嘅模式就係你要買3隻Axie， 即係好似怪物咁樣啦。咁你就要買3個咁樣嘅 NFT， 就可以入去組隊，就可以去同電腦同埋同其他人去對戰嘅。咁每一日你都可以賺到一啲叫 SLP 嘅 virtual currency 啦。 咁個 SLP 係 tradable，可以喺即係啲 exchange 度換到嘅，咁係 cryptocurrency 嚟嘅。咁個 SLP 除咗係講緊可以喺exchange 度換翻錢之外咧，其實佢喺當地嘅影響力大到咧係可以攞嚟出去食飯就咁俾 SLP 又得，可以我哋買樓買車都得嘅。咁可以見到當地其實做咗一個好 broad 嘅 adaptation on 呢個 cryptocurrency，which 其實喺香港我哋都仲未做到，就行出街可以攞 cryptocurrency 去食飯咁樣。咁我哋見呢個 trend 其實都可以幫到好多啲低收入嘅地區嘅人啦。咁唔淨止係菲律賓嘅，佢喺其實喺其他嘅東南亞地區都非常之受歡迎。咁當時最高每一日嘅 daily active user 每日嘅平均活躍用戶咧係達到200萬人嘅。咁我哋見到其實呢個 trend 係可以創造到好多咁樣嘅就業機會 in 元宇宙或者 in 一個 virtual 嘅 space 啦。咁仲有頭先我哋有提及過一個 term 叫 guild。咁佢個意思係因為我哋如果要打呢啲咁樣嘅 play to earn game 咧，好多時候頭先講話要買一啲 NFT 先可以去打㗎嘛。嗰3隻 NFT 其實加埋喺當時可能要1500美金。咁1500美金對於低收入嘅人嚟講係非常之高嘅一個數字嚟嘅。咁就出現咗個 guild 呢一個嘅 model 咧，佢哋係有好多呢啲咁嘅 action 啦。咁佢就會請一啲叫做 scholar，即係啲遊戲玩家過嚟幫佢哋去打機。咁佢就會做翻一啲分成俾翻當地嘅人嘅。咁呢個模式都係好幫助到呢個play to earn game 嘅推進嘅，因為始終有組織咁樣去好似一間公司咁去培養啲人去打機，教佢哋點樣去 set up 啲 wallet 啊。咁呢個都係非常之重要嘅。咁我哋都見到個 trend 咧，就係其他嘅好多差唔多嘅遊戲都係可能 copy 翻個play to earn 嘅 model 啦。咁我哋expect 之後嘅 trend 其實會有好多更加高 quality 嘅 game 會出現。咁我哋自己 internally 都有我哋 group 啊都有一個叫 Phantom Galaxy， 有一個 Triple A standard， 好似高達咁樣一個機械人嘅 game 嘅。咁我哋見到啲畫面啊，其他嘢都會更加靚。咁之後個 trend 會係可能唔係打機為咗賺錢，係你 enjoy 個 game 嘅同時，亦都可以賺到錢。因為其實 back in 呢個 Web 2嘅 space 你去打機嘅時候，其實好多人都會慣咗會俾錢課金，我哋叫做課金去買一啲武器啦，或者一啲 skin 啦。咁但係其實你係唔 own 嗰個 digital asset 嘅。咩叫唔 own 呢個 digital asset 就係其實個遊戲嘅開發商如果決定要暫停你嘅帳號啦，或者佢決定撤離，譬如撤離香港、撤離中國，咁你就唔玩得嘅時候咧，咁你入邊所有俾咗錢嘅嘢你就會冇晒㗎啦。咁喺呢一個 play to earn 嘅 field 入邊，點解 blockchain 咁重要？就係因為佢頭先我都有講過一個 true 嘅 digital asset ownership。咁你買咗個 NFT 之後咧，就已經係你㗎啦。無論之後呢個 game佢冇辦法去 ban 你呢個 account 啦，首先。第二係，就算呢個 game 以後唔再去活躍啦，啲人 shift 咗去玩其他嘅 game 啦，咁你都仲 own 緊嗰個 asset， 有啲咩用咧？咁頭先我都講過話，佢係我哋而家講 blockchain game 入邊最大，有200萬人。咁我哋點樣去譬如其他嘅遊戲商，佢想 target 翻呢班人嘅話，其實好簡單嘅啫。你只要整一個 game 出嚟，係可以俾人哋拎住翻原本嘅遊戲，即係 X 入邊嘅 asset。入邊嘅 NFT 都可以走去你個 game 度玩咧，其實 immediately 你已經做咗好好嘅一個 customer acquisition。咁所以我係見嚟緊個 trend，頭先講話會有更加多好 quality 嘅 game 啦。咁第二就係個 guild 呢個 model 都會繼續去facilitate 到成件事嘅 growth 咯。
咁你剛才講咧就係話其實啲NFT 真係可以 portable between different metaverse 或者 different games 啦。咁其實而家我哋而家係已經實踐到啊，定係呢樣嘢係你哋 drive 緊嘅嘢嚟㗎？
呢個係我哋 drive 緊嘢嚟嘅。咁我哋喺 digital asset， 咁其實可能大家都有個 question mark， 就係我喺 Sandbox 度啲 graphic 可能係 voxelated 嘅。咁我如果拎出去出面用嘅話，究竟會點咧？咁其實我哋係有唔同嘅，即係我哋自己 internal tech 去做緊呢啲 interoperability 嘅開發啦，同埋我哋都有 invest 喺唔同嘅公司，無論係跨鏈啊，即係 cross train 啦，或者係cross Metaverse 唔同嘅元宇宙入邊，我哋有冇點樣做到個 asset 嘅互換咧？咁呢個都係我哋而家 working on 嘅一樣嘢咯。
咁我都有想提一點咧，就係其實而家越嚟越多centralized 嘅 Metaverse，好似Meta 或者 Microsoft 咧，其實佢哋自己都自己研發緊一個元宇宙嘅。咁 at the same time，我哋而家見到 Sandbox 呢啲 decentralized Metaverse，所以你預期未來1至2年一定會係見到即係呢兩個勢力去 compete 㗎啦。咁你覺得最尾個 outcome 會係點啊？同埋對於我哋消費者或者玩家方面咧，會有啲咩影響？
我諗呢個問題非常之有趣嘅。咁我自己嘅睇法當然係 decentralized 嘅 Metaverse 會跑出啦。作為一個消費者，其實大家都可以諗一諗，即係你自己 own 咗一個 digital asset， 你會想係有個 central authority 隨時都可以 say 話你個 account 冇咗，你個 asset 我封咗你個 account 冇咗啦，你唔可以拎出去再做任何 trading。咁其實唔係 true ownership 咯，you don't really own that。你唔係真係擁有嗰樣嘢。if 你冇嗰個 right， 你冇個權利去做一個自由咁拎出去 trade， 我中意送俾人又得，中意拎去第二度又得嘅一個使用方式啦。所以我覺得長遠嚟講嘅話，一定會係decentralized 嘅 Metaverse 會係個 trend。咁可能短期內一啲 centralized 嘅 platform 係會好好咁做到啲 acquisition 嘅，咁我覺得完全冇問題冇衝突嘅。咁佢哋可以幫我哋去令到更加人知道乜嘢叫元宇宙。咁但係令佢哋知道咩元宇宙之後，佢哋就會知道佢哋嗰個唔係一個真正我哋講嘅元宇宙咯。咁所以佢哋係幫助咗做 acquisition 嗰 part。咁但係長遠嚟講會係 decentralized 嘅。
好明白。咁 Harvey 咁我哋提及呢個 decentralized Metaverse，咁我哋冇辦法唔提起 Sandbox 啦。咁請問關於你對 decentralized Metaverse 同埋未來嘅演變會係點樣咧？
呢個都係我哋一路觀察緊嘅一個去向啦。咁我哋一個 decentralized 一個 Metaverse，咁我哋其實就做緊好多嘢嘅。咁就無論係我哋係俾到一啲 creator 賦能佢哋啦，喺入面做一啲創作啦。因為我哋相信係一個 open 嘅 Metaverse， 可以任何人都可以喺入面創作啊，用佢哋 creativity 啊。我哋其實已經見到有好多嘅一啲 content 喺 Sandbox 上面。如果你入去我哋而家嘅 Game Maker 入面咧，咁入面 gallery 咧有上千上萬個唔同嘅一啲遊戲啊，一啲嘅一啲content， 你哋可以去入去 explore 啦。咁我哋亦都喺啱啱推出咗嘅呢個 alpha 嗰陣時，已經有其中一個 content 咧係由我哋其中一個 studio 嘅，即係一個 UGC 嘅 content 喺alpha 出現咁樣。咁嚟緊我哋 alpha 2亦都會有更多嘅一啲 user generated 嘅 content， 同埋由我哋 partners去 create 嘅一啲 content 啦。咁我哋相信其實喺用戶或者創作者咧，佢哋自己可以去作為一個作品嘅擁有者，真正嘅一啲 asset digital ownership 嘅一個呢個 terms， 其實我哋就好注重嘅，因為用戶佢哋自己擁有呢啲 asset 啫，佢真係可以係喺入面可以用到呢啲 asset 啦，喺入面獲利啦。咁尤其是我哋平台可以俾到一啲用戶佢哋創作係95% 嘅收入。呢個係一個content creation 嘅一個平台嚟講，係一個非常之高嘅一個分成嚟嘅。咁對於咁就可以大家知道究竟我哋幾treasure 呢個creators 佢哋嘅一啲創作同埋佢哋自己嘅一啲擁有權。咁呢個亦都係帶動咗成個創作者經濟嘅一個發展啦。咁越多嘅一啲創作，其實對於一個平台嚟講，對於元宇宙入面嘅內容就會越豐富嘅。咁大家都可以上去我哋嘅 Twitter 去睇下，有好多唔同嘅好 amazing 嘅一啲創作。咁呢啲其實創作咧都係源自於我哋我哋嘅社區啦。咁呢啲創作大家可以見到係佢係可以用一啲 voxel 嘅一個 style 去做出嚟啦。咁呢個style 咧，其實係好容易可以創作到，咁亦都係好容易學嘅。咁我哋亦都provide 咗呢啲 tools 俾啲創作者，可以好容易用到入面。我哋有好多唔同嘅一啲 animation 嘅一啲 template 啊，咁有怪獸啊，有動物啊，有人啊，巨人啊。咁所有呢啲咁嘅一啲 template 咧，大家都可以好容易喺入面去做一啲modification，去 做到一啲content 同埋 asset 出嚟。咁甚至乎係喺內容方面咧，如果有更多嘅呢啲創作咧，咁對於玩家嚟講，佢亦都係可以得到更多嘅一啲即係variety 可以入去探索啦咁樣。咁頭先其實我哋嘅co-founder COO Sebastien 都有提過，喺Sandbox 咁16萬幾塊地入面，真係可能成世人都未必可以 explore 得晒嘅。咁就係可以有係咁多 content 喺入面，咁亦都由於係咁嘅關係，其實我哋覺得元宇宙嚟講喺 Sandbox 嚟講主要都係一個對於創作者嘅賦能啦，咁同埋玩家點樣去參與啦，咁可能我都 touch base 少少係嗰個 play to earn 嗰個模式。咁我哋上個一個 alpha 嘅 season，我哋可以俾到我哋俾咗大概我哋俾咗一共5000張 alpha pass 嘅。咁所有呢啲 alpha pass 嘅 owner 咧，佢哋就可以喺參與呢個 alpha 嘅一個過程去完成一啲任務啦。咁喺入面去探索唔同嘅遊戲。咁完成咗呢啲任務咧，就可以喺 alpha season 嘅完結之後咧，就可以攞到1000 cent 同埋3個 NFT 嘅。咁呢個1000 cent 當其時係大概講緊4-5萬蚊港幣。咁對於係淨係玩遊戲嚟講，其實有一個幾唔錯嘅一個收入啦。咁嚟緊我哋 Alpha 2亦都會係類似有一個咁樣嘅一個模式啦。咁呢個亦都係可以帶動更多人去嚟 Sandbox 去探索啦，去玩啦，邊玩邊賺啦咁樣。咁就我覺得即係講翻呢個元宇宙嗰個發展，咁我哋其實都係好希望即係有好多唔同嘅元宇宙咁樣，大家可以有一個互動喺度嘅，咁所謂嘅即係互操作性啦。咁我哋而家本身我哋入面有好多唔同嘅一啲 NFT project 嘅一啲嘅一啲角色啊，譬如CryptoPunks 呢個 Broad Yacht Club 呢個Cons 咁佢哋其實都可以係用佢哋本身而家嗰個project 嘅 avatar， 咁就製作一啲喺 Sandbox 出現嘅一個one of one 嘅一個 avatar 喺 Sandbox 出現。咁呢個亦都係一啲唔同嘅 project 可以賦能於佢哋嗰個 project 嘅一啲NFT 嗰啲 avatar。咁呢個亦都係嗰個互操作性嗰度啦。咁喺唔同嘅元宇宙，其實都可以有佢自己嘅一個 interpretation 出現喺嗰度。咁呢個亦都係 Sandbox 可以俾到一啲唔同嘅project 嘅一個平台啦。咁等佢哋可以喺入面去參與、去建設、去製作一啲唔同嘅內容嘅咁樣。
咁另外咧，我嘅問題就係你啱啱提起我哋嚟緊會有 Alpha 2啦。咁其實最主要咧，由一個consumer perspective 或者一個潛在嘅玩家嘅 perspective 咧，咁 Alpha 2咧同 Alpha 1 Alpha 最主要有啲咩分別？同埋呢一個咧係會 pave the way 去到我哋即係我哋 Sandbox 未來嘅發展。咁你可唔可以講一講其實你嘅理念同埋 Alpha 2係點樣 plug into the whole concept？
Alpha One 咧，我哋其實就有大概over 20萬人參與，咁喺 Alpha One 嗰度，咁就喺呢個第一個 Alpha Season 入面咧，based on 我哋嘅一個頭先我講過啦，係一個 request 嘅形式去完成咗一啲唔同嘅玩嘅一啲模式啦。但係除咗呢啲 quest 係去賺到 cent 之外咧，其實都仲有其他嘅一啲細嘅一啲玩法喺嗰啲遊戲入面，咁total 有18個遊戲嘅之前，同埋social hub 啦。咁嚟緊我哋 Alpha 2咧會有更多嘅遊戲同埋一啲唔同嘅體驗，咁希望大家到時留意下，究竟有啲乜嘢體驗喺入面啦。咁呢啲 content 有會更加多會係有 user generated 啦，同埋都會introduce 一啲我哋嘅 partners 嘅一啲嘅遊戲喺入面嘅。咁今次嘅玩法咧，其實有少少唔同嘅，對於係同上次嚟講，咁大家可以留意下我哋嚟緊嗰個公佈。
我相信其實我哋在座咁多位嘉賓都係，即係既然大家都係合作夥伴，所以其實大家都好熟悉嘅。咁另外就係由一個傳統玩家嘅一個 perspective 咧，咁如果佢哋第一次去進入 The Sandbox，你會建議佢哋去注意啲乜嘢嘢？
如果玩家入嚟 Sandbox 去探索嘅話咧，其實有好多層面嘅嘢，我都希望大家可以注意下。咁首先，其實一個如果新玩家未接觸過呢個 blockchain 啊 cryptocurrency 嘅話咧，最緊要其實就係呢個數碼嘅一啲wallet 嘅一啲安全性啊，點樣可以去保護自己嘅 seed phrase 啊，咁點樣可以去睇到一啲唔同嘅資訊去學習多啲，咁喺呢方面嘅一啲基本嘅一啲知識需要留意下啦。咁因為其實市場上面都有幾多嘅一啲唔同嘅一啲 scam 喺度啦，或者係一啲 phishing site 啊，大家都要小心。咁另外就係參與喺我哋嘅 Discord 啊，我哋嘅討論區啊，咁入面都有好多唔同嘅玩家同埋一啲創作者喺入面討論。咁可以留意下大家究竟嗰個討論嘅內容啊，點樣可以喺唔同嘅層面參與啊？咁無論你係即係創作者啊，你純粹係一個玩家啊，你係一個投資者，都可以喺入面可以揾到好多資訊嘅。即係可能有啲投資者佢係買咗一啲地啊，或者買咗一啲 NFT 啊，想係同人哋 trade 啊，或者可能想揾到一啲資訊，或者係一啲 landowner 佢想去 connect。with 嗰啲creators 喺佢嘅土地上面做建設啊，咁Discord 都係一個好好嘅一個平台，可以同其他嘅一啲user 喺個社區入面去交流啦。咁呢個係其中一個，我覺得都係一個幾好嘅一個開始嘅一個地方。
好，咁之後去到 Peter，咁而家其實你作為一個 The Sandbox 嘅一個partner 啦，咁你覺得未來現實世界同埋元宇宙嘅融合咧，你覺得最主要嘅元素係邊幾方面？或者我哋可以解構下由呢個 technical standpoint 啦，而家科技上仲有啲乜嘢係一個 potential bottleneck？跟住第二咧就係關於 user experience 嗰方面，咁你由一個 street partner 咁樣睇啦，你會點樣 approach 呢兩樣嘢？
其實如果講喺現實世界而家，即係我哋點樣可以同Sandbox 對呢個 Metaverse 呢邊，我哋係可以有睇得上嘅時候，其實都頭先都有提及過一樣嘢，就係有好多而家現實世界，譬如有好多品牌啦，有好多唔同嘅公司啦，其實佢哋都已經開始尋求緊好多唔同嘅方向，去睇下點樣去 expand 嘅市場。咁譬如尤其是品牌啦，品牌係非常之需要去做到 model exposures 啦。咁其實透過喺呢個虛擬世，即係講緊喺 Metaverse 呢個世界裏面，如果可以開展到更加多同現實世界可以扯上關係有掛鈎嘅嘢嘅時候，其實係可以將呢件事係會發展得更好。譬如而家講緊係technology 方面啦，你講緊而家喺依家呢個市場，除咗喺 Sandbox 或者即係講緊 Metaverse， 有好多唔同嘅公司、唔同嘅集團，其實佢哋不斷都喺度 develop 緊佢哋嘅 Metaverse 啦。但係Sandbox 而家基本上喺個市場佢哋行得係非常之前嘅時候，其實有好多叫做品牌，譬如喺我哋同 Sandbox 呢笪地裏面，其實已經係同 approach 緊同我哋傾緊，會唔會有機會可以同我哋喺呢個場景、呢個場地裏面去發生一啲嘢咧？咁但係喺我哋而家面對緊嘅問題就係話究竟呢啲品牌佢本身喺現實世界做緊嘅嘢，點樣可以真係放到入去呢個虛擬世界裏面咧？或者呢個 Metaverse 裏面咧，其實好多都係關於一啲 NFT 方面嘅嘢，好似 Bowie 咁樣，Bowie 其實係佢一個音樂人啦咁樣。其實有好多方向都係講緊好多人講點樣可以做到一啲虛擬嘅 concert 啊嗰樣嘢啊。其實去到最後，我哋見到嘅嘢就係需要有好多我哋望到個 future 其實係需要有虛擬偶像呢一樣會喺發生嘅。其實入去一個 Metaverse 嗰度，其實係要簡單啲咁講，係需要有唔同嘅一個 avatar 啊，或者你有唔同你可能會有唔同嘅場景，有唔同嘅場地，甚至你講緊你而家究竟可唔可以做到有 cross Metaverse 啊，或者 cross chain 嘅嘢咧，咁樣去做咧？咁呢 呢個其實係一個問題，有好多品牌佢會唔會我喺 A 嘅 Metaverse 我建構咗一樣嘢，但係點樣可以搬去 B 嘅 Metaverse 嗰度咧？即係其實而家亦都係面對緊呢啲咁嘅問題，因為其實好多面對緊好多嘅 client 或者好多嘅合作伙伴，其實都同我哋講緊呢方面嘅嘢。呢個就係我覺得係技術上嘅問題，暫時我哋喺 Cross Metaverse 方面仲未可以實踐得到。
好明白。咁跟住去到 SAP 啦。咁其實好多即係大家其實尤其是投資者方面咧，咁大家思考緊嘅就係而家咁一直係因為疫情嘅問題咧，所以好多我哋嘅 activities 咧都喺 Metaverse 入面啦。咁其實我哋預計咧，將來當呢一個疫情慢慢放緩嗰陣咧，其實會更加多實體更加多活動去返實體世界咧，咁會影響到 Metaverse 未來嘅發展啊。
我覺得簡單地答係唔會嘅，咁原因係其實呢個係另一個 format of interaction 嚟嘅，咁所以我覺得而家疫情嘅推進其實幫咗 Metaverse 嘅發展都幾多，大家好習慣呢個 virtual 嘅 interaction 啦。咁當然喺隨住時間發展，我哋唔係淨係講緊 virtual 嘅 interaction，我哋有好多immersive 嘅 experience 可以帶到俾大家。咁可能喺現實世界做唔到嘅嘢，即係譬如喺地球另一邊有個 music festival 你想 join 嘅，咁而家其實可能會一啲好簡單嘅設備，即係你唔需要買個 VR 眼鏡，可能你淨係有個mobile，你有個手提電話喺屋企，用個camera 對住自己，我哋已經可以將你嘅 action 啊，譬如你跳緊舞啦，咁你個 avatar in 個 music festival 你都會跳緊舞，即係啲好 engaging 嘅 experience。我覺得係可以開咗另一道門課其他嘅 engagement 咯，咁所以我覺得 even 係個疫情個放緩咗，其實都唔會阻住咗呢個 Metaverse 嘅發展嘅。
係。咁去到其實最尾嗰3分鐘啦，咁希望各位嘅嘉賓咧都分享下你哋對你哋嘅建議啊，你哋感想，同埋你哋對成個 Metaverse 嘅發展，你哋係有啲咩諗法嘅？咁或者Harvey 你講先啦。
哇！或者我主要 focus 喺Sandbox 嘅 Metaverse 啦，咁我哋嚟緊嘅發展都會係不斷去賦能創作者啦，咁同埋去帶更多嘅一啲內容俾我哋嘅玩家啦，咁同埋係嚟緊嗰2至3年，我哋會去慢慢將我哋嘅一個我哋元宇宙去中心化啦，咁由我哋嘅社區擁有我哋嘅土地，擁有Sand Token 嘅持有者去話事啦，咁呢個亦都係我哋嘅願景之一嚟嘅。咁希望大家參與者都會係得到一個應有嘅回報啦。咁喺入面嘅所有嘅一啲 content，用戶甚至乎係即係創作者啊、game studios 啊、partners 啊，佢哋不斷會更加會多呢啲 content 啊，或者會更加多嘅 partners 加入我哋啦。咁我哋嚟緊呢一年都會係去不定期咁樣去推出唔同嘅public land sale。咁 public land sale 咧，每次我哋都會有一啲唔同嘅 themes 啦。咁我哋上次啱啱完成咗嘅一個 land sale 係 Mega City，咁就係所有由香港嘅一啲 partner 包括係 Bowie 啦、BlueArk 啦，咁就係 part of 我哋呢次嘅 land sale。咁嚟緊我哋都會有更加多嘅一啲 partners 喺香港呢邊嘅，咁就會推出另外一個都係香港主題嘅一個 land sale。咁亦都會係有其他嘅 theme 啦，咁可能係 related to 我哋其他嘅一啲文化方面嘅一啲內容啦，咁同埋唔同嘅 culture 啊、lifestyle 嘅一啲地域方面嘅一啲 partners 啦，例如我哋韓國啊、日本嘅一啲唔同嘅 partners 啦，咁同埋我哋都會係更加多即係 bring in 唔同喺現實世界，即係其實我哋今日嗰個交流嗰個內容就係點樣同現實世界可以有一個銜接啦？咁越多一啲用戶喺現實世界知道嘅一啲品牌，其實對於佢哋去參與呢個元宇宙入面嗰個更加 seamless、更加無縫可以去參與啦。咁佢哋亦都可以係穿戴一啲唔同嘅品牌喺佢哋現實世界，可能已經係 係一個 fans 嚟嘅，可能Adidas 嘅一啲wearable，佢哋係可以喺 Sandbox 入面可以着到嘅，可以用佢哋嗰個 avatar 喺入面行嚟行去，係着翻佢哋本身係好中意嘅一啲品牌。或者 Gucci 佢哋都喺都同 Sandbox 合作咗啦。咁呢個亦都係我哋喺今年一路去到2022年尾，咁我哋就會係將我哋而家本身正如未開放出嚟嘅嗰啲土地啦，就大概30% 嘅土地就會係陸續咁樣去以一個public land sale 嘅形式去俾大眾去參與啦。咁呢個係其中一個我哋今年嘅計劃。
好多謝 Harvey， 你俾我哋好大嘅想像空間。下一位Peter， 你可唔可以講一講你嘅感想？
正如頭先Harvey所講啦，今日我哋嘅主題係講緊點樣同將元宇宙呢個世界同現實接軌啦。其實我覺得未來嘅大方向都係點樣真係可以將一啲現實世界嘅帶咗入去元宇宙呢個世界裏，真係可以運用到呢一個有 avatars 啊，着翻一啲 NFT 買咗翻嚟嘅嘢啊，甚至講緊點樣可以用到更加方便嘅一啲 tools 啊，或者啲 technology 啊，去俾到我哋一啲創作人或者一啲好多想像力嘅人，去令到佢可以喺元宇宙世界裏建構到一啲佢哋平時喺現實世界建構唔到嘅嘢。就正如我之前講翻好似 BlueArk 咁樣，我哋其實未來喺之後嘅發展方向係會 focus 到嗰個係一啲AI 方面嘅 development。我哋係希望可以即係做到一啲更加簡易嘅方法去 benefit 到一啲創作人。咁另外一樣嘢就係講緊點樣可以將 NFT 再產生2、3、4、5次嘅價值，令到任何擁有 NFT 呢啲虛擬資產嘅人喺元宇宙世界或者元宇宙嘅生態裏面可以不斷去使用佢哋嘅 NFT， 即係呢個都係我嘅一個未來嘅大方向。
係，同埋之前Peter 你所講咧，關於NFT 啊或者 Metaverse 傳承嗰方面咧，包括你之前講一啲cultural icons， 其實佢點樣可以啲 memories 喺我哋嘅集體嘅回憶都繼續延續，其實好重要嘅。咁另外last but not least 啦，咁 Seb 你可唔可以分享下你嘅睇法同埋對未來嘅願景啊？
好啊，好啊。咁我諗其實大家而家見到個 space grow 得好快啦，而家可能集中大家都喺度好想買到 Sandbox 嘅地啊。我諗其實除咗買咗啲 asset 翻嚟，點樣去用呢一個，我覺得係大家都可能仲 figure out 緊嘅地方嚟嘅。咁其實喺個 Metaverse 入邊嘅發展，我哋而家都係好 baby stage 嘅啫，我哋都仲係非常之初步嘅階段。我覺得如果大家即係可能自己有唔同嘅公司啊、品牌啊，想去入去元宇宙嘅話，可能諗多少少一啲 genuine 啲嘅 experience to 你哋本身嘅 audience， 即係唔好為咗做而做啦。咁但係點樣可以喺個 Web3 入邊去 engage 得你哋嘅 audience 好啲，去 create 一啲喺 Web3 入邊先 enable 到嘅 content 啊，或者先 enable 到嘅 experience 去俾你哋嘅 audience， 點樣去 engage 翻個 community 會係個重點咯。咁頭先有輕輕提過嘅就係我哋都會講話其實 more immersive 嘅 experience 會係點樣咧？咁就係我諗一開始會用翻一啲大家手上面有，例如係電話或者係laptop 嘅camera 又好，一啲本身已經有嘅嘢，唔使額外再去買嘅硬件啦，咁樣去 enable 一啲，譬如將你個 facial expression link with 你個 avatar， 咁你會 feel more connect to 個 Metaverse， 因為而家可能大家對 Metaverse 嘅認知都仲係覺得好似隔咗一陣，唔係好覺得你係喺個 Metaverse 入邊嘅。咁我諗未來會有更加多嘅硬件會出現，咁可能係 something 你可以着啊，或者你可以 feel and touch 啊，咁呢啲可能係 futuristic 啲嘅。咁但係一開始一定會係一啲我哋盡量減少個 barrier，個 entry barrier， 咁所以就係一啲已經有嘅硬件，你就可以去 join， 可以去感受一下一啲 immersive experience 啦。咁同埋如果當疫情冇咁嚴重嘅時候咧，其實有一啲offline嘅 event， 我哋都可以去聯動翻個 Metaverse 嘅一啲活動嘅，例如可能你去睇演唱會，咁但係都會可以攞個電話出嚟，可以 unlock 一啲 AR 嘅 NFT，咁可以帶翻入去個元宇宙度，唔係淨係完咗個演唱會就完，可能你可以入翻個Metaverse 入面再去 experience 一啲你個 idol 你個偶像 provide 嘅一啲 experience 嘅，咁我覺得會係個 physical 同埋個 virtual 嘅個 boundary 會越嚟越模糊嘅，咁我諗未來個發展會係咁樣。
咁我估大家都同意，其實未來嘅焦點就最主要係啲 unknown 同埋未來嘅可能性啦。咁with this point 咧，咁其實今日嘅panel咧就已經去到尾聲㗎啦。咁各位觀眾，希望你哋大家對元宇宙都有更加深刻嘅體會啦。亦都多謝晒各位嘉賓咧，你哋咁精彩嘅分享，同埋各位觀眾嘅參與。咁下次再見。
多謝你 Esme， 多謝多波，多謝 Harvey 嘅答。係啊，咁我哋會繼續 keep in touch，因為今日個 event 我哋有 record 到嘅，咁所以我遲啲就會 upload 去個 YouTube， 跟住俾一啲朋友如果 miss 咗嘅話，可以再 playback 翻啊。
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bowie. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.